The story of Cordova is the story of the Copper River, which connects the interior of Alaska with the coast. Some 3,000 years ago, according to linguistic scholars, the Eyak people separated from the Athabascans and migrated down the silt-laden, salmon-rich waters of the Copper River here to the Copper River Delta, where they established their own identity, culture, and language. Geographically situated between the Tlingit peoples of Southeast and the Sugpiaq of Prince William Sound, here at 22 Mile along the Copper River Highway, is Alleganic, the site of the Eyak's largest and probably oldest village along the westernmost tributary of the Copper River. Near the village site was a shaman's cave, unfortunately lost to highway construction, and a longhouse foundation still visible today.
And here we are over the Copper River Delta. We're on the lookout over the Alganic village site and on the eastern side of the Martin River, which was where the Eyak people had many villages and where they lived. We're up here at looking up over Alganic, the Eyak village site, on the lookout point and looking out at this view. If all the alders and the trees weren't here, the view is fantastic. You can see almost a 360 view all the way around when you look through.
Spectacular. Here we are at mile 9 of the Copper River Highway, and we wanted to take a view here of some of the glaciers that block our connection to the rest of Alaska. Behind me are 3 glaciers. Lieutenant Abercrombie of the U.S. Army came through here in the 1880s on an exploratory mission. He was a Civil War veteran, and so all of our glaciers are named after Civil War generals. We have the Scott, Sherman, and Sheridan glaciers here. But in addition to that little naming artifact, the fact is that the isolation of the Eyak peoples was reinforced by these mountains and glaciers and may have led to their being cut off, as it were, from their interior origins with the Athabascans. We're here at Lake Eyak, about 6 miles from the center of town. Behind Lake Eyak, rising above to the highest point, is Mount Eyak, and indeed, Lake Eyak drains into Eyak River.
Marie Smith Jones, who died in 2008, was the last native speaker of Eyak.
I would like to read an excerpt out of In Honor of Eyak, the Art of Anna Nelson Harry. There were no Eyaks at Eyak, nor were there any Eyaks at Alganic. The Eyaks came from far upriver in boats made of something like cottonwood. They came down the Copper River. They were following along the river in their boats. They found eggs. They first saw eggs. They boiled them, tasted them, and they were good, so they gathered a lot of them. Continuing along, they came to Alganic. They went up past Alganic. There they settled down, and they never went back upriver. More people after them came down in turn. That's how Eyak was established. It was Eyak after that.
Frederica de Laguna and Kai Burkett Smith's book, The Eyak Indians of the Copper River Delta, describe this area here at the throat of Lake Eyak as being a point from which we can calculate distances to traditional Eyak villages. A quarter mile downstream from here on the left bank is an old Eyak cemetery. A quarter mile beyond that is a small village known as Eyak, and a half mile further downriver on the right-hand side, a small village known as Fort, where there was once a Russian fort. Here at the end of the lake, and alongside it continuing out to the airport and beyond, is the Copper River Highway, which is built on top of what was the tracks for the Copper River and Northwestern Railway, along which the ore from the interior was brought to market in the docks of Cordova. Cordova will appear on old globes because it was the terminus of the first railway to the interior, in the way that new globes show Valdez as the terminus of the pipeline.
At the town end of Lake Eyak lies Nirvana Park, Also, an Eyak cemetery where recently LiDAR revealed 42 graves. The park cemetery is next to an area known as Old Town, to which the Eyaks of outlying villages relocated after being decimated by disease, and also to be closer to the cash economy of the canneries. Cordova lies between Mount Eyak and Orca Inlet. It was founded in 1908 as the port to which the Copper River and Northwest Railway brought ore from the Kennecott mines, 180 miles upriver, to ocean transport. With a year-round population of 2,200, there are several churches in town, including St. Michael's Russian Orthodox Church, built in 2009. It is the third Russian Orthodox church built on this site. There are two more cemeteries in Cordova, the nearby Pioneer Park and along the Copper River Highway, yet another. Mount Eccles Elementary School serves kindergarten through 6th grade. It also houses the work of local ceramicist Mike Anderson, who explores Cordova's relationship to the sea. Cordova has a combined junior-senior high school, and each year has a graduating class of approximately 25 students. Cordova is served by the Cordova Community Medical Center, as well as the Elanca Community Health Center. It is home to the Prince William Sound Science Center, founded after the 1989 oil spill. It is the home port of the USS Sycamore, a buoy tender, which monitors buoys and oil spills, for which we now have on hand lightering barges. The Forest Service manages the Chugach National Forest. Cordova also has a small municipal airport on Lake Eyak for float planes and small private planes, as well as the Mudhole Smith Airport at Mile 13 with daily jet service. Cordova was once known as the razor clam capital of the world. However, the 1964 earthquake upended the clam beds. Cordova has gone on to become a thriving commercial port. In 2016, it was ranked 28th in the nation in commercial fisheries landings.
We specialize in the famous Copper River salmon in general. We have 267 seine permits, 537 gillnet permits, most of which are headquartered here in our harbor. Our population of 2,000 doubles in the summertime because of our fishing season. In the background here you can see the very distinctive Mummy Island, a small rocky profile on which Sugpiaq mummies were discovered. This would have been the edge of Sugpiaq territory where the Eyak did not want to go, but also the interface where there were several trading sites along the islands of Orca Inlet.
Cordova is a working fishing town with very few non-commercial vessels in the harbor. The rhythm of life in Cordova and its economy revolves around the influx of fish and fishermen, cannery workers, and the support services necessary to support our all-important fishing industry. The Cordova Center, completed in 2015, houses City Hall, a 200-seat theater, the City Library, and museum. It showcases works by local carvers, artists, and carpenters. The Cordova Historical Museum is still under construction, where it is going to show off a 3-hole badarka from Chiniga of the 1950s era, and its star, the bear gut parka. A quick trip down Main Street, officially known as First Street, leads us through Cordova's small business district and to the home of Copper River Fleece, another famous Cordova export.
And here we are at Copper River Fleece. And one of the specialties here at the shop is that our Copper River Fleece has commissioned local artists to design their trims, which can be added to their garments. And one of the artists that has designed trim is Mike Weber. And Mike Weber is of Chugachmiut and Tlingit descent. And he has designed the totem trim, which has the lovebirds, the eagle and the raven. He's designed the bear tracks. And he's also designed the fish because we are well known for our Copper River salmon.
There are several recreational opportunities within city limits. There's the Badarki Rec Center, and the saltwater-filled city pool. Additionally, there's the Sheridan Ski Hill. The ski hill has a single chairlift brought up from Sun Valley, Idaho, and is now one of the last single chairlifts in the nation. The Yelonka Center down by the harbor houses Native Village of Eyak offices and the Yelonka Museum.
And here we are at the Yelonka Cultural Center, and I'd like to point out a few things here. First, we have the Eyak. It's a fully articulated orca whale skeleton. It beached itself out Hartney Bay. This is the Yelonka Cultural Center gift shop, and in here we have the museum. We have some pieces of artwork that are owned by the Yelonka Cultural Center. And this piece is John Hoover, the Aleut Totem. What I love about this is they close where it looks like the hair, and then you can open it up, and it has the bird figurines carved into it. Bird, the otter, and the crane. In the museum, there's an exhibit from the Russian Orthodox Church. These pieces were out of Nuchek, the Russian Orthodox Church in Nuchek, and they were given to St. Michael's here in Cordova, Alaska. And the Exxon shame pole that was carved by Mike Weber, and many of the community members came together and helped him paint it. And it talks about the Exxon oil spill. And we have here the dugout canoe, which was gifted to the Yelonka Cultural Center, and this is an Eyak dugout canoe, probably out of cottonwood.
Good afternoon. My name is Darrel Olsen. I'm president of the Native Village of Eyak. I am standing next to the subsistence totem pole done by local Mike Weber.
Mike Weber is our premier local carver. Hartney Bay, 5 miles from town, is a local birders' paradise. It attracts birders from around the world for Cordova's annual Shorebird Festival in early May.